Okay, so last time we went to the hospital to get cure for Jill. We saw the UPCS dude die in an exploding safe accident on the basement floor. Even though in the first playthrough we saw him die in the room I'm going right now. So let's see what is in here this time. Oh, okay, that's Hunters. And I missed. Well, that was lucky at least. Anyway, this is the room that I mentioned in, I think, my very first video of this playthrough. This is the room that corrupted my entire video and the one that cost me one full, really good playthrough. So let's try to exit this room and see what happens. See this? See this pause? This pause in real time actually took like 2 or 3 times longer. And game can even hang up right there. Just freeze and corrupt your recording if you exit incorrectly. And that's a real problem, and that never ever happened to me ever before I started playing the patched version of the 2006 re-release. So I have no idea why this happens right there. By the way, that can also happen if you just change the equipped weapon. So you just go to the pause, it's fine, but if you go to the pause menu and change the equipped weapon, it counts as kind of reloading a bit of the game and it can lock up. So just a heads up, if you're going to be playing the game and you will install the patch, know that this might happen and just wait for like a minute. If the game doesn't unfreeze, well, you got unlucky and you should probably save just before that. Or maybe you should just play the unpatched version. Or maybe we should get a better re-release of the game, which doesn't have this, but didn't happen yet, unfortunately. But anyway, we solved everything on this floor by now. And no enemies appeared here, which can actually happen, especially when you see this exploding environmental thing on the floor, on the wall. Let's go back to the basement level and finish exploring that. There was one puzzle that I actually left untouched this time around for now. It was mainly due to the fact that that room also contains one file that is out of order if you grab it. If I would have grabbed it the first time I went there. Because the files on the 4th floor, the one file on the 4th floor comes first. Now, this room has a puzzle which I will speed up because there's a trick to it which is actually that it has no trick, and my entire life, my dozens and dozens of playthroughs of this game, I thought that there was a trick to it. And there actually isn't. But I will waste my time, so I'll speed this up. The game, what you need to do is push 1, 3 and A. And this happens every time. There is no random factor to this puzzle. This puzzle has one solution. 1, 3, A. It's one of the few puzzles in the entire game that isn't randomized, and I never knew that. And I feel stupid for that. But yeah, now that this awkward situation is out of the way, let's just escape the hospital because we got everything and we know that There is a big explosive surprise waiting for us. Oh, and hunters. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to be not wasteful with assault rifle ammo here. Assault rifle is the best weapon for Carlos against hunters, but we will need this assault rifle ammo for something else, so I'm trying to not shoot too much of it. There are no enemies on this floor because in the hospital enemies appear on every floor only one time. We had zombies last time, so there are no enemies this time around. Damn it, this rain sound glitch again. I think it happens with PlayStation version 2, but it's so unexpected. Anyway, there are a few different enemy placements this time around. Some enemies are randomized here. Unfortunately, not these guys. Oh, this is... Damn it. This hallway is really bad for Carlos. And we're going to fight Nemesis this time around. So... let's go and save first. Because we got hit pretty badly. Okay, now I feel at least a bit safer. I mean, it was my mistake that I got hit so stupidly and badly in that hallway, and twice in a row as well. But anyway, let's hope that fighting Nemesis will be not super difficult. So fighting Nemesis Carlos can go in very different ways. And it seems to be going badly, but... where's he going? Dude? He got stuck. This happened to me several times, actually. Nemesis is just walking in a corner of the room. And now he's dead. Now, if you would fight Nemesis legitimately, it would be... well, a lot of running, preferably in this specific room. I will show what happens if you go in a different room. But... it's still not very difficult if you have enough assault rifle ammo. As long as you're hitting him with it, at least. But for some reason, he just glitches out in that specific part sometimes. And it can happen in different versions. It can happen on PlayStation version as well. So we got lucky.
do you feel?
I'm okay. What happened to you?
I just fought with that monster. I've got some bad news. Nikolai's still alive.
But I thought he was dead.
That guy doesn't know the meaning of the word dead.
What is he after?
I don't know. All I know is that he is our enemy. I'm sorry, Jill, but there's something I gotta take care of. I promise I'll meet up with you later. But don't worry.
And by killing Nemesis, we got several things out of it. First, the cutscene was a bit different. Oh, and by the way, Jill is always at full health when you heal her with the vaccine. Anyway, let's try to use Mind Thrower against Nemesis in this fight. Maybe it will help us in some way. And as you will see, you can't even throw a mine in the door that he will break through, because the mine just explodes immediately. But the second thing that is much more useful when we fight Nemesis as Carlos is that Nemesis is actually weakened because of that. So killing him here, if you fight him as Carlos before, is much easier. And he drops the final thing. So let's check it out. Now, what do you think it is? It's infinite ammo. We can't use it. You can't just select it and use it. You need to combine it with the weapon. And I'm combining it with the Mind Thrower. There's a reason for that. You might think, wait, you should combine it with the freeze round grenade launcher. It makes more sense because freeze rounds are better. Well, the trick to that is that Mind Thrower is the only single enemy in the entire game that has a hidden secret function that gets added to it when it has infinite ammo. All the other weapons, they just get infinite ammo and that's it, that's all you get. But Mind Thrower, it gets something very special. Now, if you read the description, of the Mind Thrower in English, or if you understand Japanese, it actually states it outright. But at least you might have noticed that the ammo changed color. It's no longer blue, now it's red. And with these zombies right here, we'll see what exactly it does. That's not the special thing. This is. You see that it homes at the enemy? That's one of the coolest things that this weapon does. That's one of the coolest weapons in the entire series, probably. It's small exploding mines that home at enemies. And it's as fun to use as you might imagine. Now, unfortunately, it has disadvantages because it's still Mind Thrower. It still does exact same damage as Mind Thrower does. And that also means that it's still rather useless at some of the tougher enemies and boss type enemies. So using it against dogs, against crows for some reason, against zombies, even against the mutant fleas, which by the way are actually called Drain Deimos, and the poisonous kind is called Brainsucker, I believe. But I usually forget the names. But you can use Mind Thrower against them. It's actually pretty cool and pretty useful and pretty fun to do. But if you try to use this weapon against hunters or even against Nemesis, it's not as useful. Hunters just don't have any kind of don't have any stutter animation because of it. They just continue running towards you usually. Unless it explodes in a very specific way. Because if you noticed, mine thrower rounds now explode on contact. And they not just home on enemies. So let's use on hunters. Or on sliding worms, because this time we got sliding worms. So yeah, sliding worms can also be easily killed with it, but they as easily avoided. And as you can see, we can't even walk down the stairs when we have a sliding worm that is sucking your blood. Which, again, is pretty annoying and kind of stupid. Where are zombies? Oh. So as you can see, unless you hit him when he's jumping, it's a very dangerous weapon to use against hunters. Especially since just 2 grenades kill any hunter. Or even 1. But maybe this room contains dogs this time around. Oh shit. Well, that was cool. We don't often see hunters actually explode into pieces, and that was nice. Oh, and yeah, you can actually use grenades to explode environmental stuff, even the area of effect damage. And for some reason, acid runs don't actually one-hit kill hunters in this specific Resident Evil. They were usually one-hit kill grenades for hunters. But yeah, as you might have seen, that using mine thrower against hunters is not a very good idea. Speaking of the hunters that appeared out of the water, the animation of them jumping out of the water kind of looks pretty similar to how Mr. X, the Tyrant mass-produced version, appears in Scenario B of Resident Evil 2 if you go to the top floor of the RPD building. I guess they just reused the same animation, maybe it was just a reference. And second thing is that this is one of only 2 rooms where that type of the hunter actually ever appears. Which is pretty weird, because that makes the only location in the entire game where they appear definitely and without any random chance the basement floor of the hospital, where they're very easily avoided. That is pretty strange, because that makes them pretty much the most unique enemy in the entire numbered Resident Evil series, because in most cases you will only meet 2 of them for the entire game, and they only appear in Resident Evil 3 and Outbreak and the Umbrella or Darkside Chronicles, I think Umbrella Chronicles. So again, pretty weird and unexpected. Especially since they actually one of the very few enemies in the game that have unique kill move animation, like insta-kill animation, along with Nemesis and Hunters, the normal Hunters. So again, pretty strange that Capcom decided to make the Gamma Hunters, the frog-like Hunters, so rare and so unique. Anyway, we grabbed lighter from the start. So we might as well do all this fireplace stuff from the beginning. Let's grab some of the gunpowder, because again, A and B make C, and C is really good gunpowder. And we know that there's a boss fight coming up right now, so we might as well be prepared for it. Let's grab even more usual grenades. And the key that we actually need. There's one more file here, and we can grab the ink ribbon and go meet Nikolai.
All supervisors, mission terminated. Return immediately. Repeat. All supervisors return immediately. Over.
I'm quite impressed you've managed to stay alive up until now.
And you seem to be doing a pretty good job of looking out for yourself. How about helping out?
I have no intention of helping you.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this?
In a manner of speaking, you are. Our employers wanted a detailed analysis of the zombie beings which were created through infection by the T-virus.
You're saying that they deliberately sent in a military unit to be butchered by their creations?
Not exactly. Although the conditions encountered on this operation were extreme, it was an unexpected outcome that the team would be wiped out. We were only required to collect live data from the subjects.
Oh!
Another mutant!
So let's go into the save room and prepare for the next fight that is coming up with the Gravedigger, the giant worm. I decided to speed up the preparation just because, well, again, it's nothing special, it's just me reloading guns, grabbing stuff, saving the game and stuff like that. Last time around, the fight with him went not as smoothly as I wanted. Let's see if we can do it any better this time.
What's going on? Whoa! Oh my. What is that?
Right, so I decided to use all my super cool weapons from the start. Apparently until he does this, he might not be getting the full damage. I never rechecked that, to be honest. But I've seen a lot of people who speedrun the game or do some super effective runs to not shoot the Gravedigger from the start. Now we also know that he does these small attacks where he just pops out and tries to hit you. You can hit him when he does that, but you just have a really small window to do that because he usually hides very quickly after that. When he does this, though, it's much easier to hit him. And that's it. He's dead. And the acid rounds were actually pretty good this time around. We didn't need to use any kind of electricity, we didn't get hit all that much. The fight with him is actually pretty easy if you know what to do. And we actually have the worms this time around, not spiders like last time. They're easily avoided, but for some reason I didn't do that this time, so we have to wait. Okay, now we can go out. And now we know that the zombies appeared out there. We never tried out using the lamps in that location with zombies against any enemy. And it seems like zombies might be the best kind of enemy to try and use them against. So let's try to go up where we can see all the exploding lamps. Now, and as you can see, you might actually not kill a zombie from the start. And as you can also see, even if you aim at the exploding thing, you don't have enough... well, it still homes on the enemy, not on the exploding thing. And if you try to use grenades on those things, grenades don't have enough range. So let's get out of our way and specifically go to the save room and grab the handgun, so we can check if these lamps are any useful. Spoilers, they're not, but let's see how long it takes me to even kill a single zombie with any of those lamps. Oh, and yeah, since we got here, you might guess that at this moment we can actually get back inside the clock tower and explore everything inside the clock tower that was open after the big fight with Nemesis. But again, there's nothing new, there's no point to go back there, there's nothing. So it's just a location, it's just an option that you can take if you want to. I'm really even getting hit while trying to do this. Okay, let's see. Can we kill a single zombie with it? Yes, we can. And that one missed. Okay, let's try to lure them closer to the ones that are not exploded yet. Zombie, are you going here? Hello? Come on. You're not coming, are you? Let's check if she... Nope, she decided not to go. You know what? Screw that. We have homing exploding mines of infinite supply. This is much more fun to use. So, yes, again, exploding lamps seems like the most useless thing in the entire game. I have no idea why it was decided to put them there. They are very pointless. And you most likely won't be able to hit any hunters with it. As you could see, zombies, which are easiest to hit with them, are also kind of hard to hit, especially since you have so much ammo for good weapons. So yeah, I don't know why they're there. Anyway, let's go to the bridge and let's try to jump off this bridge this time around. It sounds dangerous, but...
No!
Stars. Stars.
And he just left? Yeah, he just left the area. And it seems that it wasn't risky at all, so we could have chose this last time around. Oh, and it's a one-way here. Yeah, you can't go back.
Rescuing you is becoming a full-time job.
Thanks, Carlos. I owe you.
Listen closely, Jill. They're going to launch a missile directly into the city as soon as day breaks.
At dawn? But that's only...
I know. We don't have much time left. We have to split up and find a way out of here. And hey, watch out for that traitor Nikolai.
So yeah, that's how we meet Carlos in this kind of choice. I think it's actually a good time to explain how the changes in story work in this game. Now, most of the changes in the story in the game happen due to how you select, what option you select in life selection. The only other decisions that are not based on life selections are if you go to the news office or to the restaurant first, which decides on where you meet Carlos first time around. And the second thing is if you kill Nemesis, or not kill, but make Nemesis drop his loot in one of those encounters, in restaurant or the news office. That's the second decision that changes on who you meet in the gas station, who you meet in the umbrella office. Every single other choice is based on life selection. And usually the important choices that actually change the story are the choices that put you in some different place other than the other place on the map. But thing is, up until this point, up until the selection on the bridge, all the choices could have been done in pretty much any order. You can combine them. You can find Carlos in the news office, but then escape from the Nemesis, and you will still meet Nikolai in the gas station, and then you might have actually pushed the brake on the cable car, and you would have received something similar to how we saw game play out last time around. But the choice on the bridge, whenever you actually push Nemesis off or drop down, that actually changes the entire ending part of the game. The story and the ending from now on will be a bit different. The main things will be pretty much exactly the same, but the ending will be noticeably different, and some things and some character fates will actually depend on what you do from now on. And that's pretty much the biggest and most important life selection in the entire game. It also, actually, as you will see later on, adds an extra life selection, which we will see in the next video. But basically, the next video, we will be finishing this second playthrough. There still will be stuff for me to show after that, but this will be the end of the second playthrough, where you will see all the changes that we brought by jumping down the bridge, and what stayed the same and what didn't. So for now, we just go and explore more factory, but that will be happening in the next video. So see you then.